who's your ideal client? Who are you marketing to? This really comes into the marketing strategy, not just with design, but also your brand. So for us, we have to understand that demographic, right? We're looking to build luxury product in the Scottsdale market. So we have clients from all over, and we're not looking for that first-time client that's building their first custom home. You know, ideally for us, we're finding the client that is looking for that value. They're looking for something that's going to last a long time. You know, these are people that typically second, third home buyers, and with that, now they are building their dream home. And so with that, that allows us, again, to cater to these customers. And most of these customers, again, just based on that demographic, these are clients that are going to be living in their home for a long time, right? So it's creating that whole experience for them. So you can see here with this shower we have. So this is a primary bathroom. You can see the curbless shower. So it's really common in all of our construction projects is that we have this curbless shower, this easy entrance for the clients. And as you think about aging in place, well, what does that mean, right? Wide hallways. Elevators is very common in our projects. You know, we're thinking about grab bars potentially in their home. Despite aging in place and despite catering to those ideal clients, we can still have a home that's extremely beautiful, that's well designed, as you see here. Again, getting back to the marketing strategy, you think about net zero. How does this play a role in design? Something that we're seeing a lot of. You're here at the Builder Show. There's going to be a ton of vendors right now that are advancing, you know, the net zero products. That essentially net zero is a home that is fully sustainable, it produces as much energy as it consumes. And you can see from this design here, this drone shot we took, that you can still have this amazing home. A lot of people think of net zero, that you have to have, you know, a cave, you don't have any windows, and you can see here from this modern construction, because just to get a little technical, the window glazing of this triple pane glass is very similar to a 2x4 insulated wall. So with that, you can now, again, market to the net zero client, market sustainability, and the industry is going this way. In California, this is already mandated that all builds have to be net zero. Canada, this is happening, and we're seeing in Arizona, where I live and where I build with my team, that this is a huge demand from our clientele, getting into net zero. And this is a huge part of design, you know, on all of our projects moving forward. Something that I really love is the natural arts. So this is really big. Again, we are in the desert, but anywhere, you know, clients are asking for natural light. We just spoke about net zero, that you can still do a ton of glass, ton of glazing, have that net zero look into the or that glass into the home. And instead of a traditional hallway that's full of artwork down the home, you can now have glass, right? You can have glass galleries that lead you to the primary bedroom, to other bedroom suites. You can be here where you're using the manicured desert, in our case being in Phoenix, as the artwork. So it's bringing that outside in. It's very inspirational, especially as we've seen through COVID, right? People are looking for, through the pandemic, they want natural light in their homes, and this is a great option. Now, hands-free technology, again, we're here at the Builder Show. There's a ton of vendors that are working with hands-free technology. And you can see here, and a lot of us are pretty familiar with, you know, the automated faucet that comes in. You know, you put your hand under, so it's great with water efficiency, which is something that we're super mindful of living in the desert. You also have DTV showers, which we put with Kohler. Kohler has a DTV shower, which is great. But the electronics is a huge part. Again, our customer base who we're marketing to. You look at, these are clients that are traveling. Many cases, these are second homes. And so the technology aspect, right? The security, the low voltage, the automation, you know, everything can be controlled through the phone. Everything's hands-free. And this is super important that how we incorporate that. And what's really important too is we don't want to take away from the design. Sonance, who's a company out of California, we have these speakers that are in-wall speakers that are in the wall behind the concrete plaster so you don't even see them. So again, incorporating hands-free technology and utilizing that so that it does not take away from the entire design or aesthetic. Bringing the outside in. So you can see here, this is a project that we built in Scottsdale at the base of Pinnacle Peak Mountain. This is a view outside the front door, and you can see Pinnacle Peak right there and the boulders. And so the whole intent here is how can we, going back to the net zero, part of it's our carbon footprint, right? How can we use the resources that are around us that are natural to the environment and incorporate that into the house itself? Incorporate that into the architecture and interior design, bringing that outside in. So it's very common for us, going back to the glass galleries and other topics, that we have, you know, tongue and groove wood ceilings coming into the home, you know, stone and brick that are on the outside and the inside. And it really creates this blended environment for the client as they're in their home in this continual finish from exterior to inside. So it looks like everything's seamless and matches, as you can see here from this image. Now, multi-sliders. Working with our designers, this is always a big element, right? Is how can we beautify the multi-sliders, incorporate the design, and bring in this natural light? As you can see here, increasing square footage of the house. So some clients, you know, based on budget, cost of construction, labor, all these different aspects, it can be tough for the labor. So if you can build homes that are smaller, that are more feasible, right, for your clients and be able to build those. Well, now you can optimize a smaller home with multi-sliders, bring that indoor-outdoor living, especially in Phoenix. For us, where we have amazing weather most of the year, probably not the summer, but ideally this time of year, these clients are opening these sliders. This corner slider completely pockets. So now you have seating area, dining area outside. Again, you're blending it with the beautiful interior finish. You have the natural light up top. And again, this is something that's really inspiring for our clients, right? Is thinking through natural light and multi-sliders. Now, resort living. So this is something to really think about with your clients is, how they're living at home. The pandemic changed everything. We were building pretty unique homes back in the early 2010s, and it kind of stopped for a while, but now it's back. Because of the pandemic and lack of travel, people are really incorporating resort-style living. You can see this home. There's going to be a lazy river, a pool, but again, this goes back to the amenities, right? Fortunately, in Phoenix, we have the clientele and the demographic to incorporate this resort-style living into the home. And this is a huge request from our clients about inspiring them, right? This is really why we're so big on interior designers and architects with our builds, because people are inspired as they live at their home and they have nice furnishings and they have, they feel inspired as they're working from home and again, bringing that resort style life into their personal residence. Now, water is something that's super important for us as you think about living in Phoenix. Here we are in the desert, super hot, and we have to be mindful of water. This has to do with, artificial turf that we're installing instead of real grass, has to do with, water reservoirs, especially with the natural desert, putting in plants that are natural to Arizona. So as we're doing our landscape plan, making sure that these are arid plants that are used to living in the terrain and they don't have to be watered and have drip systems. And so this is really important as we start thinking about water and sustainability in our designs. Additionally, think about just some elements, right? We have, water features. Swimming pools is a big thing. This is a water tower, so this is a project we're building there in Phoenix, and you can see this is a custom water tower that's there for the client for water storage. And so you think about water storage and water retention, that plays a huge role in what we're doing in the desert. Now, solar, again, sunlight. Arizona has a ton of sunlight. One thing that's always been a big hiccup for our designers and our architects is how do you incorporate solar into the architectural design? And you'll see here, this is a rendering of a project we're working on that has solar all throughout. And again, optimizing the layout of the design. How does the architecture lay with the existing climate, with solstice and the sun? How's that roof line? So that we have full exposure, but again, we're hiding it from most everyone that's there at the house, so they're not seeing these solar panels that are really taken away from the experience of the design. And incorporating that, right? Whether it be solar tiles, a lot of times it's really common with our designs that we'll have parapet walls. So this is like a Scandinavian modern, we have metal roofing, but there's parts of this home that we have a flat roof, a commercial roof, and then now we can hide solar panels, below those parapets. And so you're incorporating now solar design and you don't have to deal with the elements of people visually seeing that. And our final slide here is earthy tones. Again, this is a home that's set in the hillside, and one thing that's really unique about Arizona is as you're driving through North Scottsdale, anyone that's been there on Pima Road as you're heading north, you can't even find the Circle K or the shopping center that's there, and the reason being it's all blended into the landscape. Having those earthy tones, having the home set back, right, creating that estate feel with your residents, and of course bringing those outside elements in, right, looking at how we're designing these homes, how we're blending them into the environment, using products sourced locally, which helps with the carbon footprint, and again, which is feeding into the net zero. So again, these are 10 design trends that we're looking at, and for our clients.